I don't know what else to do. I'm knitting right now. I'm knitting for someone's son. I'm making them a blanket because that someone has been very kind to me and has helped me and my daughters in times of some need and did it for no charge. And so this is a person that I have a lot of respect for, and she had a baby and I made her a baby blanket when the baby was born, and she loved the baby blanket and the baby loves it and says it's the only thing that the baby can sleep with, because as you can see, when you knit something, it's a relatively open weave, so he doesn't suffocate when he puts it on his face. That's what she says. She's like, I need a bigger one because but I don't know what else to do, because I'm not doing this for money. She said, oh, I will pay you. And I said, I will not take your money, because I don't feel right about it. But I did try doing this as a little side hustle. I think I sold one set of like a baby blanket, bonnet, and I work a full-time job. I'm an ultrasound tech. And this right here is kind of like exercise for my right hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, because I'm starting to experience a lot of debilitating pain in this arm. Maybe this isn't a good thing. Maybe this is making it worse. Like right now, I don't know if you can see, on the inner part here of my elbow, the muscle here in the forearm, it's been hurting for days. And yeah, I do have some things, like I have like a tennis elbow kind of like thing. I do have a wristband. I do have something for my thumb. But I'm experiencing pain on a daily basis. I do ultrasound for pregnant women and just women's reproductive organs in general. But, I used to do all kinds, abdominal, renal, everything. I've worked in hospitals. I worked for IVF centers. I've been doing this 10 years. And this was my ticket to independence. I went back to school when my daughter was 10 weeks inside of me. And it was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life, honest to God, because it was able to give me the ability to to get a job that paid more than just $10 an hour. I needed to be able to be on my own. I needed to be able to have my own place for myself and my two daughters. And so the ultrasound profession has been able to do that for me. So I'm very thankful and I'm very grateful. But I bought this house about 3 years ago, right before the federal interest rates spiked up, and right before inflation started to really blow up in January of 2022. Before COVID, I was making less money. I lived in a smaller place. I owned it. I sold it, and then I got this place. I paid almost twice as much for this place, but that place increased in value, so I was able to dump a lot of money into this place, and I plan to stay here for a very long time, because it's in a neighborhood that's closer to family, and it makes it a lot easier, right, for commute and all that. But even though I was making less money then, I feel like I was struggling less back then than I do now, because as much as I have been able to find better job opportunities who've paid me more, I'm kind of happy where I'm at right now, work-wise. But the amount of raise that you get on a yearly basis, and this is not a diss to my company, my employer, this is just a diss to the standard, cross-the-board employment way of being. What employers offer, what they can offer, according to their bottom line or whatever, is a 2 to 3% raise is not enough, guys. It's not enough. It's peanuts in comparison to what has gone up in every aspect of living, from electricity and water, utility bills. I look at my bills from one year to the next year. From groceries, this is all over social media, all over YouTube. You'll see it everywhere. Everyone's struggling. rent. I'm lucky and thankful and grateful that I was able to lock this house in at a good interest rate, because if I had to buy this house today, I would not be able to. If I had to pay what the rent prices were today, I would not be able to afford to live in it alone. I would need a roommate, and I have 2 daughters. So explain to me how I would be able to even do that. I'm single. I don't have a husband. I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have a partner that pays the rent. I do, however, my house is sort of set up sort of like a duplex. And so there is a portion that is rentable. And that's how I'm able to afford this mortgage. Because even though this house cost more than my old house did not have that ability, that space that I could rent out. So this one made sense for me. But it is getting difficult. I was an avid leaser of vehicles for many years, because as a woman, you walk into a mechanic shop and you see that your car's warranty is over. It's already 3, 4, 5 years old. It's starting to have little issues in which you need to maintain things, right? It needs service. And they take advantage of you and they tell you that this is messed up or that's messed up when it's probably not. Or they'll say that they did do the oil change when they really didn't. And this is all over the news. Never ever go to a Firestone, a Jiffy Lube, a Tire Choice Plus, Tire Kingdom. Avoid those places, those chain places, like the plague. Find a place that a family, friend, member, whatever, someone is like, hey, this is a good, reputable place, and just stick to them and be a faithful patron to their business and just go. Because I had a lease when I bought this house, and my lease was about to be up, and I got another lease. Well, that lease was going to be up this year in January. And when I saw what the prices of cars were becoming, I knew that when my lease was up and I went to turn in my car, even if I got the exact same car, I was going to end up paying more on a monthly note. And that's when I decided to stop leasing and I purchased my lease. And now I owe on my vehicle. I have a $20,000 car loan. The interest rate's not the best, something like close to 7%, because I did this last October. So it's been about a year. So I owe about 4 years left of payments. But it's getting to the point now where it's out of its warranty and it needs work, and I've been screwed over. I've been scammed. I found, thankfully, like a better, more reputable shop thanks to a friend. But can you be quiet, please? Shh, quiet. He's always meowing when I make videos. It's, oh my gosh. It's like, no. Hush up. Hush. Hush, Milo. So I had a TikTok channel for a little while talking about what I do for work. It did really well. I think it has like 16, almost 17,000 followers. And I made a few $100s off of it, but that's it. Because I work all day in women's healthcare and, obstetric healthcare. And I feel like I've already talked ad nauseum about almost every subject that I could think of. And let's be honest, who wants to talk about on their free time what they do for a living all the time? No one, right? This is why you see hairdressers with bad hair, or nail technicians with bad nails, or waitresses who don't want to even prepare their own food, or coffee house waitresses who don't want to make a cup of coffee at home. You get sick of it, right? So eventually, it was doing okay, and I have a problem with being consistent when it comes to doing things that will serve me. But when I do things to serve others, I am very consistent, because I don't like to let people down. So I don't know what else to do, because while I am grateful that I am in a good position in relation to a lot of other people, the problem is that I'm tired. Physically, I wake up very early in the morning. I have 2 teenage daughters. Thankfully, I have shared custody with their father. So it's not like I have all the responsibility of being a sole parent. So I'm thankful for that. There are some mothers whose kid's father is a deadbeat dad and isn't available. So I'm thankful for that. I have a job, I'm thankful for that. I have a home, I'm thankful for that. I have a car. But the home requires maintenance. Sometimes it costs money. The car requires maintenance. Sometimes that costs money. The children, they have physical healthcare needs. They have emotional, mental health care needs like anybody else. Thankfully, not that my children have any medical problem, thank God. That's another thing that could always be worse. But children need to be raised. They need you just have to be a constant active participant in their life. You can't just sit around and just let them grow like plants, right? But on top of that, not just the physical fatigue and the mental fatigue and the exhaustion, but my arm, my hand. I am a right-handed person, so I predominantly do almost everything with my right hand. So I'm trying to teach myself to be ambidextrous and learn how to do a lot of things with my left hand. I know how to cut meat with my left hand, so I use my left hand, but I hold the fork down with my right. But it still puts a lot of, you're doing a lot of pressure and pushing with your right hand. But there's not a whole lot that I can do with my left hand. And I'm starting to feel pain in the joints here. I'm only 41. So my fear is what's going to happen the day that I am in so much pain that I cannot scan, or if I need a surgery. I'm terrified because I don't know what else to do. I don't know that there is anything else I can do. I considered applying for a job as a supervisor for a diagnostic center. But there's skill sets and, experience that I don't have that I'm sure I can learn because I'm a very fast learner. I taught myself how to knit just by watching YouTube videos. I've taught myself how to do a million things. I'm a fast learner. I think I'm a smart person, but an employer is not really going to care about that. They want to look at, do you have a bachelor's degree? Do you have a master's degree? I've thought about changing careers and going back to school, but, tuition for example, becoming a genetic counselor, you need to have a master's degree. I have 2 associate's degrees. I would have to get a bachelor's and then get a master's. That would take years, a lot more of the free time that I don't have as we speak, and more money, and that I don't want to get into more debt. I started a YouTube channel because I do love to talk, and sometimes there's no one to talk to, except for my cat. I've had boyfriends, I've been in relationships, and I would talk their head off. But that's not why we're not together anymore. There's a lot of other things that come into play. But it was nice being able to have a companion and have someone to talk to about all sorts of things. I do have, friends and stuff, but talking on social media is also fun. You get to get your thoughts out. And so I started this channel in hopes that it would, generate something. I probably should have stuck to the TikTok and doing more OBGYN talking, but like I said, I've run out of ideas of things to talk about. I already talked about miscarriages, I've talked about fibroids, I've talked about, pregnancies and all sorts of things related to my job, ultrasound when it comes to OB and GYN. I don't know what else I have. I had like a mental block, like a writer's block. Like I had no idea what else to talk about. So I would talk about experiences that I've had with specific patients and their circumstances, and obviously speak about them anonymously. I wouldn't say anybody's name. But there's a lot more things that I'm into. There's a lot more things that I love in life that I would rather be talking about. Yes, sir. You want to come up here? Come. Come on up. Upa. Upa. Aquí. Ven. Come on. He takes way too long to decide. He's sitting there staring, and there you go, right here. Come on. Come on. Right here. No, not over there. Here. Okay, well, I'll let him make up his own mind. But my YouTube channel has not taken off like for some people. They'll make 1, 2, 3 videos, or they'll be on for like a month and suddenly it's like they're monetized. It has been gradually growing, but I have a problem with consistency. I haven't been consistent enough. I get very excited about something, kind of like a little kid, very into something to the point of obsession, and I do it a lot. And then once I've gotten that fill, once I'm like, now I know what this feels like, I've enjoyed it, I get over it. And then I move on to something else. And making videos has been unfortunately falling under that category. And I noticed that the only time that I am consistent is when someone is counting on me, when someone is depending on me. And even still, sometimes the need to be that consistent for someone else's sake can breed some resentment in me. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I'm a horrible person. You might be judging me as we speak. I don't care. The cat needs food and water every day. His bowls have to be cleaned. His litter box has to be scooped every single day. He needs attention. And some people would say, well, isn't that a pleasure? You get the love and affection of your pet. Yeah, I'm very much an independent person. I don't think I would not do well if I didn't have the love and affection of a pet. But I got that pet specifically for my younger daughter because she was going through some depression and anxiety, and she loves animals. She has 2 animals at her father's house, and she wanted an animal here. And I decided to pull the trigger and just go for it. Well, he's my responsibility now for as long as he lives, which could easily be 10 years. But some days I come home and I'm so tired, I don't want to scoop a litter box, but I have to. So I will do it. I'm not going to let him, not have space in his box to do his business because it's so full of yesterday's business. I'm not going to let him starve because his bowl is empty and I didn't feel like refilling it. I'm not going to neglect those things. Same thing with my children. I do what I need to do for my children. Same thing with the people that have been there for me and done good things for me. When they say they want something or need something from me and they have earned it because they've done something wonderful for me, I will be consistent and make sure that I follow through and do what I promised for them. So for me, it's like my consistency of showing up for someone is something that needs to be earned because my free time and my peace of mind is priceless to me. I become overwhelmed easily. I become stressed out easily. I get physically tired easily. I don't have any disease that I know of, no autoimmune, no nothing. I've tested myself and I've gotten blood tests and, the doctor tells me, you have the lab work of an athlete, which is funny because I'm not an athlete, but I do try my best to eat well. I try my best to stay active. I'm very much into the outdoors lately, and I don't think that's something that's going to be a phase. I don't think that's something that I'm going to lack or break consistency with. Let's hope I'm not speaking too soon, because it is one of the few rare things that, even though sometimes, a lot of the times, it requires a lot of work, when you're in the moment and you're done with the work and you're just enjoying being there, it is so worth it. There's something about being in nature, whether it's a camping trip or I'm going to rent a kayak for the day here in South Florida and just going to enjoy kayaking for the day, or a picnic outside, somewhere beautiful and natural and quiet. For me, that is like medicine that helps to reset my mind, gets rid of the fog, the stress. My body feels better. I sleep better. So for me, because it's so rewarding, even if it requires effort, like preparing for a camping trip and loading up a car and driving long distances, I actually enjoy driving. I don't enjoy traffic. So my job's commute is an absolute horror of a nightmare for me because I live in a very congested city with a lot of traffic, particularly during rush hour. And my job is 20 miles away and it takes an hour and change to get there. And it takes about an hour and a half, sometimes hour and 45 minutes to get home. So that's not fun. It's not good on your car either, all the stop and go, stop and go. And it's exhausting to constantly be hyper vigilant, making sure that someone doesn't slam on their brakes or cut in front of you and cause a potential accident. Thank God, knock on wood, I've been a pretty safe driver and I haven't had an accident in well over 5 years. But when it comes to hitting the open road, I love that. I love that feeling of like long distance driving. It does sometimes eventually at some point get, tiresome on your back and you want to shift in your seat. And so it's time to get up and stretch your legs. But my camping trips are something that are for me. And everything else that seems like it's for me isn't really. it's more societal expectations. So like when women go to do their hair or do their nails or get their filler or their Botox, they say it's for me. It's pampering. Is it really? Seems like a chore to sit there for 2 hours with your hands, unable to even like scratch an itch. So you can have these shiny claws that everyone else you think everyone else is going to look at and appreciate. And we put it in our mind that it's like, well, I'm going to look at it, appreciate it. I have a very natural, I don't know if you can see, very natural set of nails. They don't look bad. They look perfectly fine to me. Do they look colorful, attention seeking? No, but they function. They're clean. They're trimmed. They're pretty even. I'm okay with that. I save the money. I save the time. So going to the nail salon is not something for me. Same thing with my hair. I don't do anything like highlights or anything crazy. This is my natural color. I do have a few little random stray grays that come out every once in a while, but very few. So I don't even color my hair on a monthly basis like people who have grays generally do. I sometimes will do it once like every 2 or 3 months. And I am this close to stopping and just giving up and letting my grays grow out. Because who is it serving? Me or other people? And what makes them happy and what pleases them? Is it for the male gaze? Is it to be able to get an attention from a man? Is it to be able to be loved? Well, you know what? If that happens, it's going to happen. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. Coloring your hair or not coloring your hair, doing your nails or not doing your nails is not going to change that. So I kind of have given up on that boat. My physical health, though, I have not. I do try to exercise, and it's not so much to be able to keep a nice figure for the male gaze in hopes of maybe meeting a partner, because like I said, I've given up on that. But I do want to live a good long life and do it healthfully without any health problems. So I try to incorporate a lot of steps. I take stairs instead of elevators. I have a walking pad that I try to use. I have weights. I have a little bench. So I do what I can. Same thing with what I eat. I do try to also enjoy life, but I don't do drugs. I hardly drink. I mean, I do drink, but I hardly drink. And it's all for the sake of really, truly taking care of myself. Yes, Bubby, you want to come say hi? Come here. Come here. Over here. You see him? Let's see if he can see you. Hi. Oh, wait, I'm blocking the camera. This is the little sucker that's been meowing the whole time. So it is the day after Milton, and I'm home because our office is closed. It's a really, very pretty day outside today, and we probably could be in the office, but I'm thankful that I was able to get these. Ow! 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 Milo! He literally just stepped on my boob. I'm thankful that we were able to get these couple days off because I had a little bit of an emergency with my tire yesterday with my car, and I got that taken care of. But I still need to go back for more car stuff, and I have an appointment coming up in a couple of weeks to do that. Hush, cat. Shh. But yesterday was kind of stressful because of the car situation. But then after a certain time in the afternoon, when the wind started to pick up, I stopped, dropped everything I was doing. I was done. Done with the tasks that I needed to do for the day. And I was ready to hunker down for the night. And then we didn't get a lot of wind. We didn't get a lot of rain, thankfully. I'm very thankful that we're okay. A lot of people are not okay in other parts of Florida. But we resume work tomorrow, and it's going to be a very, 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 very busy day because Fridays are typically pretty calm, and we usually leave early, around 3 o'clock. I don't think that's going to happen tomorrow. I think it's going to be a very hectic, busy day, and we may stay working till much later than normal, because now we need to, everybody that we couldn't see yesterday and today had to be rescheduled, and a lot of them are going to come tomorrow, and we're going to be slammed and crazy busy, and I am worried about the pain in my arm. So I'm probably going to have to postpone some of this knitting. In a little while, I'm going to stop. I'm going to finish the rest of this row and put it away and just rest my arm, because I'm like taking Advil every single day at this point for my arm. And I have a friend who talks to me about real estate and how you can use the equity of your house to buy another property and make that into a rental property. And I think about that, and it scares me. It scares me. It scares me. It scares me. It scares me because while, I don't know why I'm shedding like crazy right now. While it does make a lot of sense, it's not something I've ever done before by myself. And I'm terrified of making a mistake, making a bad investment, making a bad purchase. There's so many things that can go wrong with a property, from the foundation to the windows to the roof to the HVAC system to asbestos and, termites and just so many possible things. A property could end up becoming a huge money pit, even if it's an investment. And you can say, well, there's inspectors for that. Of course there are, but I've had inspectors come here and say that this and that checks out okay. And then 1 year later, the insurance company is forcing me to change something, or something just completely dies. So I have very little faith in inspectors. So besides the TikTok channel and this YouTube channel, I've seen so many people here on YouTube that are my age, 40 or older, in their 50s and 60s, who are like, start a YouTube channel, because this could be a future source of income for retirement. And that's what I'm hoping will happen. But I don't know if it's going to happen because of the lack of consistency, like I said before. And consistency is key, and I know this, but I have a hard time. I don't know why. I guess because I have so many other responsibilities that I have to be consistent with, that I'm exhausted. So when I find myself with free time, I try to just be very just go with the flow and relax and enjoy my free time. And even still, in my free time, there's a lot of chores, housework, things like that. Mother work, parental work, pet mom work. There's so many things. So I just need to figure something out because I don't know what I'm going to do. Again, it's hurting in here like crazy. And one of the things that really, really, really annoys and upsets me is that Social Security is supposedly going to run out by 2032. And it makes me so angry that we are still paying into the system from our W-2, from our work paychecks, and we're not going to get anything out of it. How is this legal? How is this allowed? Because it's the government that's doing it. They forcefully pull money out of my paycheck for a system that is supposed to fund me when I get older and I'm ready to retire. And yet they're going to waste that money in other things, and there's not going to be any of it for me to use. So they should stop taking it out of my paycheck now. Oh, but we need it for this and that. That's not my problem. That money's supposed to be for me, but they don't put it away for you. They just take all the money, pull it together, and do what they want. Look what they've done with FEMA's money. They've sent it to other countries. It's just, I'm not going to get into the whole politics right now, but I need to find a solution with regards to what I can do for income, because I'm getting physically tired with what I know how to do with my bread and butter. I have 2 daughters, and I need to sustain myself. And if it comes down to it, when my daughters are grown women, if I'm able to continue to work for as long as I can until they are grown women, if I need to sell this house or rent out the house or something, like I've said previously in other videos, I have no problem buying and living in an RV. But I need some sort of income. So perhaps I already have a section of the house that is rented. I could probably rent this part. But it's just, I'm not ready yet because I've only purchased it 3 years ago, and I've only finished putting it together maybe like a year or two ago. And the idea of emptying it out of all my personal things and selling a lot of my personal things to really downsize. Ideally, I would love to have this house and be able to have an RV and travel whenever I want and come back and whatnot. But then how am I going to make money? Well, there's the option to do travel ultrasound. But again, ultrasound, handwork, repetitive motion, injury. My concern is if I'm injured to the point or I'm working every day in pain to the point in which, I can no longer do this type of field, what can I do? Social media, TikTok, YouTube channel, real estate. What can I do? If I rent out this house and I rent out that house, I still have a mortgage. So how much income is really going to be left for me? I don't know. Anyway, that's that. This is a very random off-the-topic video. I have other camping videos that are going to come up soon because I did go on a camping trip a few weeks back, and like I said, have not been consistent. I'm working on editing it. Sometimes it takes a long time, and I'll post that as soon as I can. What? Why are you so annoying, Milo? Hush up! I'm talking. Oh my god, Milo, where'd he go? Milo! I don't know where he just went. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Bye.